Welcome, everyone. My name is Carla Brundage, and this is the East Oakland to East Africa version of our West Oakland to West Africa Poetry Exchange. I'm Carla Brundage, and about 3 years ago, I was at Mills College, and I was like, I wonder what would happen if I had lived in Cote d'Ivoire for 3 years. And I said to myself, I wonder what would happen if we had a poetry exchange between West Oakland and West Africa. It was a really wonderful exchange, our first exchange, which was between students at Mills and the greater Oakland community and poets at a Holocaust in Ghana. And since then, we've been doing exchanges. We have embraced the Sankofa symbol used by the Akan people of Ghana, meaning reaching back to knowledge gained in the past. And it's usually symbolized by a bird putting an egg on its back. And it teaches us that we must go back to our roots in order to move forward. However, since over 12 million people were taken as slaves, mostly from West Africa during the transatlantic slave trade, we realized that there's a bridge, a larger bridge to be connected. The knowledge that we, the Black people in the diaspora here, can share with our African brothers and sisters, as well as what we can learn from our African brothers and sisters. So our mission is to create healing and reconnection between Africans and African Americans who've long been separated due to the Ma'afa, the calamity of slavery, and the many currents and socioeconomic factors. So basically how it works is we provide ways through our partners, and today we're partnering with Kistretch Poetry Festival in Nairobi, Kenya. And we use this form called Renshi poetry, which is a Japanese form, also known as linked or chained poetry, to do our poetry exchange. And the way it works is that we have taken the last line of our poem's partner and replied with that. And we wrote on 4 themes over the course of about 8 weeks. So this is our East Oakland to East Africa version. And we partnered with the Patrice Lumumba Writing Group and Kistretch Poetry Festival to bring you this event here today. We have a number of people here from these groups, and I wanted to introduce Dr. Christopher Okemwell, who is the leader from our group in Kenya from Kistretch Poetry Festival and a professor. Dr. Okemwell, do you want to just say a few words?
Yes, let me say that I'm really honored and I'm so humbled for this poetry exchange that is taking place currently. It's a big experience to me, and I feel that even our own poets who are participating here today, it's also a big experience to them. And I've come to realize that it's a big, big, big thing to us, especially the upcoming poets in Africa, that they are able to exchange poetry with their own brothers and sisters in diaspora and those living in Europe. And to them and to me, it is such a big experience and a learning experience, and also a personal experience as well. So I feel like this kind of program should continue in future. Otherwise, I say thank you so much and welcome everyone on board. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And before I introduce Don Juan Carter Woodard from Patrice Lumumba Writers Group, who's going to be our MC tonight, I just wanted to share a few other things to get us started. So I want to acknowledge that Oakland is part of the Ohlone land, and that's where we're calling in from here in Oakland. And I want to acknowledge our ancestors who lived here before us and thank them for allowing us this space. I also want to share that this is a space of respect, and we don't use hate speech or discriminate on any level. We've had a beautiful exchange, and I want to encourage people to also show love to each other in the chat. by clapping, these kind of things. You know, we are still in this Zoom world. What's been really interesting is the exchange, this evolution has allowed us to connect in a deeper way on the camera, which has been beautiful for this exchange, but it still does take away that human connection. So if we could show love to each other in the chat, through our facial expressions, etc., that would be really great. I also want to bring up, it was shared with me that sometimes Wi-Fi can be a little bit hard for all of us. So when you're not speaking, you do have the right to have your camera off. We'll be using speaker view for most of this reading. And so it's totally okay to not have your camera on when you aren't speaking. So I'm going to turn it over to Don Juan. I'd love for you to talk a little bit about Patrice Lumumba, and then Don Juan will be our MC for the first part of the day. Welcome, Don Juan.
Thank you very much. This is definitely a great experience. You know, like this is definitely my first time being able to collaborate, especially with people over there in Africa. So it's greatly appreciated because, you know, being an Oakland native, you know, like we've always had like, you know, a deep African centric, you know, being Black, we definitely feel like we attach deeply, you know, to our roots in the motherland, and being able to actually attach to it, you know, and actually be able to put something forward and actually build the bridge, you know, and being able to link, it's a beautiful thing. So I just wanted to say that beforehand. The Patrice Lumumba Writing Group. You know, basically it's a subversion of the Hollaback open mic that we used to do we still do every Thursday, but used to do in person at the East Side Arts Alliance. Excuse me. I am a board member at the East Side Arts Alliance. So this right here was something that we put together that used to be a live thing, but now we decided that it would be great to do it via Zoom. You know, it made it to where we're able to connect with people that we never would be able to connect with. You know, like we have people that come all the way from New York, Jackson, Mississippi, sometimes people from China. It's so many different people that we can connect to. So I'm actually glad that we was able to do this. But it basically all started with us having a very intimate writing group, you know, a place for artists to be able to take time to write. Because, you know, being an artist is hard to be able to find time to sit down and actually be able to do your art. So this was our attempt to be able to give artists a space to be artists. So the Patrice Lumumba group, you know, is basically a open area where we just grant the permission to let your mind be free. It's an open space. You know, we pick our own topics and we just go from there. So now that we're able to put it together, you know, I'm interested to hear how everybody's stuff turned out. So yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Don Juan. So Don Juan and I had a conversation this morning. I made a slideshow which has all the partners. And so I'll share the slideshow as Don Juan introduces. I also put the lineup in the chat. I want to invite people to also, if you have a book, if you have a website, feel free to share those things in the chat. I really had hoped that people would read with their partners, but as we're waiting for people to arrive, it seems that we may have to go back and forth on that slideshow. So please be patient with me. And I do see that Halima and Karen are both here. I know it's not the order, but if you're ready to start, Halima and Karen, it would be really great to have you both start just because you're both here together. Would that work for you?
Yeah, that's fine with me if it's okay with Karen.
All right. It's good to see you. I believe that we're going to go ahead and we're going to start off with your group today. And, you know, since you're the top person up there, I'll go ahead and let you start off.
So I will do this poem. It's called Black Woman. I am a Black woman. I am that thing you don't want to hear. I am that beautiful reflection you see in the mirror, pointing out imperfections, holding pride in one hand and doubts in the other, vying to see who will win. I am the construct of a past that raped confidence from my mind and hid it between my legs so that sex would never be confused with intimacy again. I am brutal honesty, wrapped in delicate skin, releasing my emotions with handsome tears for myself and all that need them. I shed the blood of dead children and run fragile egos to Caucasians for coddling, wielding machetes and lightning as I walk because my rage needs protection, not guilt trips and pillow talk. I am your mother, who knows you like she knows herself because she took the shots that gave you life and died 9 times to birth you. Her understanding has no boundaries in a world that keeps us laboring to love you. I am your sister, nurtured from the same pain, seeking attention the same way, loving you with a hate that could only be related. I will get in your face, slap box your soul away, then wrestle you to the ground until grandmama say, y'all stop out there tussling, girl, go on somewhere else and play. Be mad for 10 minutes, then race you down the street to play dodgeball or hide and go seek. I am your daughter. You should want to protect me. Make me believe that make believe is real. Slay dragons, ignore temper tantrums, and love me unconditionally with understanding and honest compassion, not disdain and gaslighting tactics. I am your queen. I am not a science project. Your ribs have nothing to do with who does the dishes, and kitchens don't care who cook in them, and a diaper with shit in it simply needs changing, and our hands work the same. I am herbs. I am medicine. I am hard because that day soft was taken. I am the undercurrent of blue that you see in a full moon. I am incense unfurling to the sounds of Badu. I am sunshine. I am sun rays. I am effervescence on Sunday. I am waves crashing in the sea. I am doves crying to be seen. I am hurricane season, exposing your treachery. I am Suge Avery running to save Miss Celie. I am the reason Jesus wept. I am life after death. I am both heaven and hell. I am eternally blessed. I am mad at the world for their treatment of Black women. I am tired of apologizing for owning my freedom. I am pissed that society celebrates the cruelty of misogyny and condemns Black women simply for resisting demons. You have no power over me. I hold thunder with my teeth and ride tsunamis through the streets, guiding dead bodies to come see me. I am a god. None can enter but through me. I move the world with my mind while eating vegetables and sipping green tea. I am distant galaxies. I am dual realities. Yes, Your Majesty is the only thing you should say to me. I am audacity. I am sacrifice. I am everything you need except lily white. I am not your cotton. My life is not for sale, so keep your self-hatred and fragility over there with them. I said, no, I am not your slave. Either stand with me or get out of my way.
Fire as always. Greatly appreciate it. Next up, we have Karen.
So I'm going to read the poem. So I'll go. So, okay. Either stand with me or get out of my way. For I am not an ordinary woman. I am a virtuous strong woman, bold enough to tear apart the demons that stand in my way. They have tormented my future and strangled my destiny. They have stood on my way up the ladder. They still have enough courage to see me fail. See, I wake up every day to fight my way up. I still gather the energy to take me through the light for the demons. I have spoken in the table of the world to fight for the woman. I still nurse emotional and mental wounds for the days I never won. I still oil my wounds with the never giving up spirit, for I am a noble woman. A woman who is stronger than her fears, a soul that strives for perfection in all shades of dull days, an unending definition for perfection in all shades of dull days, an unending definition of true love at heart, an idol that represents humanity when the world turns a back on us, a very broad shoulder to house those whose life was swept away by the storms of life. I strive to win fights all through, in the midst of the society where the woman is no different from a child. In my mind, as I try to figure out how I'll fight them with my mind, for in my heart lives humanity, lives a portion for winning. For I am a go-getter, a definition of nobility, a shiny star, then sunflower. The world has treated me like a glass, fragile enough but not good enough for my strength. Living in the hands and lying in the floor for mercies is what I look like. Yes, I am a queen, a precious soul, a daddy's favorite, a jewel, the princess, grown-up Cinderella, but the world will never treat me as such. It will broaden its fingers to grab me. Neither will it ease for my pending bills. I walk in the streets today, not a happy woman, but a contented one. I still fight for my place, but at least not with my past. For giving up is not part of me. So either stand with me for the woman I am, or allow me to stand for her.
Thank you very much. I'll go ahead and give it up one more time for Karen. So Adrian wrote, an artist educator living in Berkeley, California. Kelvin wrote, I am a person believing in humble steps.
Okay, hey everyone. The title of this piece is 843. It was our prompt about a poem about a strong woman ancestor. 843. Coke in a curvy glass bottle, BC powder, a two-piece dinner, roller derby, a pack of Cool Mile 100s, the ease of withdrawing cash from underneath breast, the sound of your gun on New Year's Day, gold crown on your front tooth, the sucking sound, shapes in the clouds blown coolly through your lips, fair-skinned, addicted to Falcon's Crest, Dallas. One day, I find a faded portrait of you and have it restored. It makes the family happy to see you in your youth. A restored picture of you becomes an heirloom at the funeral. Your brother I never met in your 65 years admired the photograph. He remembered you at that age. He was from Myrtle Beach, like you. It might as well have been Africa herself. The feeling of knowing him, so foreign. My family of origin, so foreign. Tribe. I was surprised that you and your brother looked like twins, and sad that I never knew him. And even now, he disappears into the ethers of memory with only my recollections of him and you, like the clouds that pass through your lips. I blow coolly through the comparisons. Like you, he was slender, moved like a breeze, fair skin, alert, easy movements. Uncle Butch said, there's a lot of you in Myrtle Beach that I need to meet. We were planning a family trip. I priced the plane tickets. I never flew to find you. Now I find you in the memory of throne. A little wicker chair with the flower pattern at the back, you brushed my crown. I remember when you had what I remember as a stroke that nobody wants to talk about. I remember the veins tap that nobody wants to talk about. I hear you now. You finally want to talk. I'm here to listen, South Carolina. South Carolina, the land below the Mason-Dixon, the lines crossed that nobody wants to talk about, and passed down and down and down, the silence. You were the grandmother who didn't like to go to church on Sundays, who burned every loose strand of her hair in an ashtray, who played spades on the weekends and said, nigga, please, like an original gangster, quick to pull your pistol, quit a job, and cuss out anyone who crossed you. I learned another side of how to be Southern. You had the hats and shoes, the suits and sparkly clip-ons. My favorite was a cream suit with the matching cream hat, wide as Georgia. And when you did go to church, it was an event to see you walk down short 33rd Street and strut around that corner to Easter service. You were beautiful, and a presence on the pews like a waterfall in a desert. I'll never forget the first time you were mad at me. You said, I resent that, after I said something about the dangers of secondhand smoke. All I want to say now is the DARE program made me do it. I went from sneaking cigarettes to be like you, to wearing a bandana around my face. I had to look up resent, and I was sad I made you feel that way. Now I resent that just say no was ever a thing, when it's impossible to answer no to something that was never a question. You had stomach trouble, like me, and I questioned if secondhand smoke was the real danger. There were no classroom talks on secondhand quickness to cuss a nigga out, secondhand urges to buy that hat instead of those collard greens, secondhand need to isolate and be on the lookout constantly, secondhand distrust of whiteness, though it is in my skin feeding me self-hate. It would have been helpful for both of us, for the school to bring in some speakers telling us to just say yes to creating the world we want to live in, instead of a world with an answer to a question that don't exist. You didn't get a chance to say how much it pained you to live in a world that questioned your existence. So I am saying it now. I am listening now, and Myrtle Beach is here.
All right. Dr. Christopher Okemwell, poet, novelist, playwright, founder of Kistretch Poetry Festival.
Yes, thank you so much. Let me read my poem called I Remember, and this is a tribute to George Floyd, the one who was killed by the white police. Chamaroche, 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 seito chinchugu, chamaroche, chamaroche, seito chinchugu, chamaroche, chamaroche, ae yalikamoro, yalimogongo Kenya. Chamaroche, 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 seito chinchugu, chamaroche, chamaroche, seito chinchugu, chamaroche, chamaroche, ae yalikamoro, yalimongo Kenya. I remember when his neck was pinned to the ground, the earth shook in terror. Tears stung our eyes in agony and in bitterness. We cast the stinking knee, hated the chokehold. We gnashed our teeth and bit our lips, and we did not believe in the world anymore. I remember when he uttered, I can't breathe. The world closed its eyes in horror. Vengeance, hatred rolled furiously around us like a poisonous wind. Our intestines coiled inside us in shame and in utter despair. We wondered how a man can do such a heinous act to his own brother. Why and for what reason? I remember when he wriggled on the ground, he called upon his mama to plead for his case. But his mama had long gone into the winds. She only could hear, but could not answer. I can't breathe, he mumbled. His pupils dilated and rolled in their sockets. Beneath the knee, his breathing diminished. My nuts, some water, please. Shit. His limbs slowly fell apart. Energy escaped out of him. I'm through. I'm through. His mouth dropped. His eyelids closed. He stopped breathing. George Floyd was dead. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Y'all go ahead and give it up one more time for Dr. Okemwell.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the list, we have Darius and Cornelius.
Well, I'm going to read the narrative poem. The title of the narrative poem is I Remember, and here I go. I remember beautiful girls on the empty streets of Cairo, slender waists, light skins, and tomato-like cheeks, laughing and giggling in the breezy air. On my hand, one rose for the sad Rosa girl, one rose for the charming girl, Christine. They all broke me before I did and got lost to the wind. I remember a night out at Kawaka, a jailbird, fresh from bars. I could not cease to stare at her the whole time. Cold, menacing eyes, yet they captured my attention. A mug of coffee to caress my lips, and a cold touch to warm my lonely night. Another day with her would have made me a criminal. I remember A cottage standing on a hill in the heart of canopies, and of cacophony of wild voices, lone wolves, hyenas, and crickets. I thought I would retire to the peace of chirping birds. I thought I would spend time there with my sons, Tessa and Sedan. Oh, ebony babes, when you pay a visit to my grave once in a while, please drop a rose for me. I will smile in my bed of damn dead foliage. That is the end. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, y'all go ahead and give it up one more time for Cornelius. Greatly appreciate it. Darius isn't in yet, is he?
No.
Okay. All right, well, we can just keep it going. I don't believe Landon is in yet, and if he does, he's going to come later on. So next we'll end up doing Josephat.
Yes, hello everyone.
Hey, how you doing? Good to see you.
So here goes the poem titled Dance in the Hood. The time is here again. Of course, it is time to see them down the terrain. Haven't you noticed the bourgeoisie's presence after so long an absence? I bet it's time for the magicians to reap young with such an urgency. 5 years has been long a time for us to pay. But yes, time flies, so they say. I hear they are in town, and the hood dances to their tune less a frown. I bet we've forgotten the hind-lying burden. After the dance, all will be forgotten, left for 5 more years of tears. Who though fears? The hood is dark lit by nightfall. The pathway is impassable. The downpours yield pools across them for us to drown, and only pools of smoky dust as the sun is shone. So, let's dance our frustrations out as they come and go. Let's forget all the mediocre promises of last time and focus on their newly crafted heavens. Let's line along the muddy roads and wave at them as they sail in their 4-wheel drive wagons. Let us perfect our songs and dances and dance for them as they hover through the hood, all in the name of understanding our predicaments. And above all, let's pretend that we are listening to their empty promises. 5 years is a long time. If we fail in casting the vote, let's not fail preparing the ground for our own graves. Already, I've designed my own casket. Thank you.
Right on, right on. Thank you so very much. Y'all go ahead and give it up one more time for Josephat.
Beautiful. It looks like we're just tag teaming here, Don Juan, which is super great. Thank you for your flexibility. Looks like Kelvin just came in. He put a note on the in the chat and he's ready to go. Kelvin, Adrienne already read her poem. I don't know if maybe
Yes.
Adrienne wants to repeat her last line.
Yes, I can repeat it. Let's see. Myrtle Beach is here. So Kelvin, I don't know if you want to read Angel, because it starts with here.
Time to tell a message of an angel, so dear to myself, pillar that holds me still, even after giving me life. Restlessly she runs, with hands blistered, tough as what I call it, conversing with the whore against a hard surface, with ultimate agenda to see cheeks direct phalanges toward mouth. Selflessly endured all sorts of misery, mockery and humiliation, but for them to smile. The angel made me whole deep within my pains and fears, knowing she lives path, sleepless nights would be her portion. Almost suffered, denied herself all, even what was due, to see her cheeks in utmost contempt, calling her mama verily not enough. An angel she is. I wish her long life to age gracefully. Thank you.
Right on, right on. Thank you very much, Kelvin. Y'all go ahead and give it up one more time for Kelvin. All right, next on up. Oh, yeah. We got Meanie and Stanley. This is going to be interesting. So Stanley put student, poet, writer, avid reader, and editor. And Meanie Tempest is a multidisciplinary artist, musician, and poet.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So it's called Sometimes. So let me read it out. Sometimes I wish I was bound to you like a thread. So you won't have to go nowhere without me. Each time you need me, you have me. Sometimes I peer into your liquid eyes and wonder if the energy is for me, or you have some saved for another. Sometimes I smile, other times I cringe. At the thoughts of ever losing you to someone, it makes my insides coil and I'm a worried man. Sometimes you make me proud, sometimes you make me fuzzy, but I care less when you give reassurance of rosy days and windy nights. Sometimes I insist that I have no one like you in my dreams and in real life, but you choose to ignore. And again, I become fuzzy and we start from zero. Thank you, everyone. That poem, it's called Sometimes, and sometimes we go through a lot, but that was my Sometimes. Thank you.
For sure. Thank you very much. Meanie, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. That was beautiful, Stanley. And we start from zero, but many times a victor I've become, allowing my fists to open up and expose my palms. I deliver bravery in being humble to my desires. I speak with a mouthful of twisted galaxies on my tongue, blessings that become a whirlpool of stars and planets and stardust and half-bitten moons and dark matter, bending a prism of light to radiate through our lustful souls. When was the last time you loved like the universe whispered free in your ear? When was the last dream where you shed these makeshift bones and testified that a body is a small cup of this universe's river? How do you begin your being from the beginning or the end? I dream in sunflowers always. Let the rays coo love all the way up my spine, twisted into a fistful of emotions, a rainbow serpent sliding about this earth as protector of my wildest memories. How do you pronounce your soul as dark or light? I am pink in theory, originally red, bursting like millions of conjoined suns. I am all that God is and will ever become. Thank you.
Next up, we have Tango and Boniface. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna read these. Tango, newly minted San Francisco Poet Laureate. Okay. And Boniface, poet, law student, published author.
All right. I look at my floors and I want to put a president there. I don't know too many more words than this group therapy is pulling out of me, pulling out all this mix-up murder on television. Gray market tantrums of a typical aristocracy's day in the African sun. Words by one of these atoms, alternate letters underneath army state activities. The big day on the continent now rotting in local. We will be dancing on that corner forever. An abomination to the grandmothers. Environmental whiteness while the blues hopes for peace, helping ghosts with their food. In the shooting gallery that becomes a shooting gallery of the next vaudeville Congress, you start as a toddler hermit. Pay taxes, then pique the interest of God. Deal with your convictions on the way to the racism downtown, becoming famous among racist psychopaths. Who do you want to be when the elders come? When we make the North a souvenir? What breakup are you wishing for? Which parallel of cannibalism you might want to make amateur music from? Rainmaker's set about a death slowly slang. No, I get it. You all want the feeling of a poem. A junkie's trumpet in a refrigerator whose description is unmanipulated by the ego, and why not? They'll put 3 apartments in the swamp and run you out this nation state. Revolutionaries at the bottom of the scrapyard bathtub, king stomach, keep America away from your drug habit. Walk your drug habit to the light. School features no more than bourgeois shadows casted in an empty convert hall. The impression swamps made on street people. Imperialist naturalism. Apostle brains, what buckets are made for. Pray over these buckets, loosen the white supply of whiskey from your lips to the courthouse towel. Easy to kill, predictable, sleeping on benches, anti-elder, a ton of limbs made one glass rim, like underground gambling shacks, piling in and out of a new violence, and I am their leader. Flipping obituary pages in your face. Here's your horde's proposal, or Anglo closer. Dutch immunity elevators diagonally in, cokeheads in blue. Come here, convict little. Come to idolatry, says the dead. A rookie sent me to the imagination of a nurse station. I changed the music at my own repass. I might actually make it to the bandstand. Simple magnetism, this God, intercommunal forgiveness. May a good universe take us off.
All right. On fast. All right, here we go.
Good. So I'm going to read memory poem. And there will be fire around our cooking stones at night, burning and vomiting sparks of light. Oh, Mother Africa, look at me. Why is history blind of your sweat? Before Columbus, we were in America, upon the pathways from Guinea, Africa, whistling and chanting in mouthfuls, alleged songs of Cleopatra and such other mantras. Then came Columbus and turned us slaves. Wipe your tears for the long way gone. Though the hand of history has been biased to render your sons and daughters insignificant, yet we know their contributions as magnificent, pivoted with pain, wheat, sweat, and blood. Don't cry, Mother Africa. Let me weep on your behalf, but first turn me blind, that I may not see violence reign upon the land of humanity again. But if you turn me blind, still I will remember the scorching tears of your sons and daughters across the globe. They all cry, we aren't lesser beings, we are full human beings. So switch off first my ears, that I may not hear hatred, rolling pain in the streets of this world, to intimidate a race as a rat in the world. Oh, Mother Africa, draw near, put off my ears. But if you switch off my ears, I'll still hear the inner cry of our African ancestors, singing aloud the alphabet of the African dream of Ubuntu, that mantra that we all matter and coexist as a family. We shall overcome. Wisdom is pouring and all are tapping it into their hearts. Greed and pride are strolling into the abyss of childishness and nothingness. Humanity is eating cheese as a family soaked in love. Thanks.
I'll go ahead and give it a one more time.
Hey, give it up for my brother.
You said there will be fire.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh. So I think Don Juan and I are going to transition now, and I'll take over as co-host because Don Juan is going to be reading pretty soon. Thank you so much. Next up, we have John Otiso Bundi and Zakia GEK Part. Zakia GEK Part, performing words, interlocking sounds. This poet astounds. And John, I'm not sure if he's here today, it wrote in a poem, I would have never lost you, a million times I loved you. So welcome, Zakia.
I was talking and couldn't be heard. Okay. So hi, Carla. Thank you for the introduction. And thanks to everyone for being here. So good to be here today. I am not sure if my partner, John, is going to be here. I didn't hear from him. So Carla, I want to ask, can I read his poem also? Or should I not?
I think that would be okay. Do you think that's okay, Christopher, if Zakia reads John's poem as well? You're muted.
I think that's in order, if she can do that, because right now some parts of Kenya is raining heavily, and I'm very sure that John is in the area where it's raining heavily.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so she can go ahead and do what you suggest is good for all of us. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I will start with our identity poem. So I start off, my poem is entitled Greeted by a Rainbow. I come from a place where greeting is paramount, a place where the moon appears full each night, a place where darkness highlights zillions of stars that kiss the sky and brighten our path through thickness in the woods at the midnight hour. A place where the doors are never locked, even as you sleep. A place where dewdrops halt on the first note the songbird sings. A place where porch swings sing a lullaby to passersby. A place where summer breezes soothe your sneezes. A place where neighbors talk and children play in the early morning sun, greeted by a rainbow. I come from a place where sunlight, moonlight, and starlight are etched on the faces of the people and shine throughout the universe. I come from a place where pyramids are erected at the infolds of the cerebrum, cerebellum, and medulla. I come from a place where experiencing bitter, hot, sour, and sweet are precursors to life's journey. I come from a place where greeting is a way of life. It begins and never ends. So John's poem picks up the last line of my poem in the Renchi style that we wrote in. It begins and never ends. I may cry this whole night. I may cry even the rest of my life, but I can't, as I lost my right to even break down in tears. I feel hurt when I realize I can no longer see you with my eyes. I can no longer touch you with my hands, but I will feel you in my heart forever. You never said goodbye. Instead, you promised to never leave me. You never said I'm leaving. Instead, you proved by your actions 1,000,000 times I needed you. If love alone could have saved you, I would have never lost you. 1,000,000 times I loved you. I hate having to say goodbye, to find a friend, to a friend I know I won't get to see again in my life. Anyways, goodbye, and I miss you.
One of the things about hosting this exchange has just been the beauty of the partnerships and the way that people have come together. Oops, I stopped my own video. And the things we learn about each other just through our poetry. Next up, we have Don Juan, Dewan Carter Woodard, and Louis Wamwakanda. So Dewan, a true soldier, only dies but once. And Louis believes in awakening dreams through writing.
Very much. All right, so I decided to do the I Remember piece. Over there, I was basically going through it and trying to figure out which one that I wanted to do, and I think this one right here will probably be the best one for me. Can y'all hear me just fine?
Yes.
Okay. This one says, I remember. This carpet. I remember this carpet. Multicolored, blue in composition, bed for this young boy, housed in a studio apartment on Seminary, vast enough for a growing preteen. Foil. I remember aluminum foil. The fear and intrigue of it. Made to store food, but for me, this is barrier. Rats cannot chew through aluminum foil, or at least that's what Mama says. This carpet, only shared by my family when thunder rings outside. Thunder seems to come more frequently on summer days. Holes in the building let you know lightning might not strike in the same place twice, but damn it gets close sometimes. Stamps. I remember stamps. And the shame and anxiety it gave my mother. This book of stamps for her meant degradation, but for me it meant Doritos, lunch meat, and Kool-Aid packets. I remember I was in charge of the stamps. Also meaning I was in charge of bringing home the list of groceries, candles. I always remember candles. I've always seen candles. On those no light nights, story time sounds better when the TV isn't working. I guess the whole neighborhood feels the same. These candles on the corner have been lit for days. Stories are told by drunken bystanders. Only time I remember seeing grown men cry, stains. I remember the stains in the concrete, where pools of blood took time to soak in. Remember walking around the stains in an attempt not to aggravate the ghost. Music. I remember the music. Mama hates the way that it makes the house shake. The vibration resonates in my soul. Drums make me remember a feeling. Can't explain it really, but I remember that it feels like home. It's funny how this transition sticks in my mind. Potatoes and rice. Easy meals for a weary family. After hours on AC Transit, 82L or the 57, 40L or the 72, numbers I will always remember. Urine. I remember the smell of urine. Tucked off in corners slept in by the less fortunate. Makes me appreciate that carpet. Never knowing that these nights would structure my future days. Survival. I remember survival. Bruises from North Oakland Carter Middle School days, the 2-hour bus ride back to East Oakland after the barrage of fist and feet. Respect. I remember respect, the want of it, the fight for it, the demand for it. These are normal days for kids my age. The environment that grew us to be invincible. I remember being invincible. I remember feeling invincible, which is an upgrade for the days of being invisible. Knowing that time is ether that drifts away. My memory is solid as concrete, muscle memory. These memories are strong, chipping pieces off of this statue. The masterpiece of godlike energy I call me.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Yeah, just the poetry, the collaboration, the exchanges. I don't know if Lewis has come back. Is Lewis here? We'll come back to Lewis.
I don't see him. But just go ahead and keep going through, and I guess like when he comes through, we could just jump right on in.
Great, thank you. Okay, next on our next up, we have Evans Muti, who partnered with D. Allen. D. Allen works on Saturdays, so is not here. Evans plays guitar while spitting words of light, and D. Allen is an East Oakland performance poet with 5 books total. So we're ready for you, Evans.
Okay, so I was trying to sing as I perform, but it's not working. So I'll have to do something else. Masahibu ninayoyapitia kukupeleka Java pizza uliza kiatu Okay, so I'll read the poem here. Young African man, rise. Don't sleep a little more. They'll say you're lazy. Wake up earlier. Stretch a little. Yo, on to that stretch. Don't just stand there. Look like an African man. African man, rise. It's time to break fast. It's time you collected some cassava. Oh, and the roots, those roots that help you work magic in bed. And some black tea. Black tea and arrow roots taste like greatness. Don't forget your mama's favorite words. An empty stomach leads to an empty head. African man, rise, it's time to dress up. Pick that tie you love and a very heavy coat. Oh, you don't like coats? Then wear that Ankara, put on some dashiki patterns, get yourself looking great. Set out like the world depends on you. Don't forget to comb those bushy beards. Maybe trim them a little. Sometimes it's important. Your mama loves that you wear that smile. She says it will bring you a wife soon. African man, rise, it's time to go to work. What is your favorite ride? Is it the matatu? I mean, the loud African matatu with chickens and goats and sugarcane and rumba. Is it your favorite bicycle? The bicycle your father took from your grandfather who took it from the white man. Is it on foot? Do you like to trudge through those dusty streets so that you can see your shoe shiner? Maybe you want to see the latest newspaper. African man, rise. It's time to be of service. Do your work at the cafeteria. Do your work at the construction site. Are you a bouncer at the club? Are you her favorite waiter? Thanks. African man, you need a job. Push those cards. Play those cards. You need to do something. You're tired, get some ice cold Coca-Cola soda. The office is getting monotonous. Do those small talks. Do a little chatter with your fellow African man. African man, you're tired. You've done it. You've earned it. Let them be judges, but your acts don't deserve lamentations. You are a hero. You saved the day. African man, go rest. Take that radio. Tune to your choice. Take your favorite instrument. Is it the guitar? Is it the kayamba? Play some music. African man, you love something. Is it football? Is it the taste of a beer? Does it make you smile? Is it a hangout with friends? African man, I repeat, African man, rise. It's morning again. Peace. Thank you.
Oh, wow. The poetry is just great in here this morning. It's 9 a.m. and well, now it's 10 and I'm feeling so inspired. We have two poets coming up next, Lady Rev and Rebecca Mose, or Becca. Becca is a poet who writes from the society, and Lady Rev writes through trauma as a healing mechanism.
To read a poem on I Remember. It is a piece that I did, and then Lady Rev joined me with my last part. I remember every splendid moment with him, swiftly recalling years of friendship and memories. But now he's gone. The portrait of him is like a teardrop on a wound. The memories of its tender are in our own fallen hearts, a great soldier and a great man of all. If there could be one more day and hopes to come light, I spend every splendid moment with him. How grateful would I be for just one more day? Yes, one more day. If that day could come, then the sun tarried to set. I'll never forget the golden heart he left. It was like a flower, part of the withering wings. Then he found the dove. It was his time to rest. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. Let's give it up for Becca on her birthday, and also Lady Rev. Welcome.
Thank you. This is my response to her poem. Then he found the dove. It was his time to rest. Back in the day, my feet knew ground like dust knows air. I'd grip grass between my toes to shake hands with her. Little pebbles and stones mixed with rocks and sand be good training ground. We didn't know we was playing with freedom. Our souls danced on sun-kissed roads. Every day was a journey. Tree marks cemented on ankles. Steady eyes could see heritage in these folds. Culture in the arch. My mama's voice echoing jives. Back then, flesh touched flesh. Tired bones rested on plastic couches. And air spoke honestly of the earth. I never knew innocence, but we knew we was pure. Way back when imagination dictated socialism, when money was on trees in everybody's backyard, snowflakes made heavenly ices. More caterpillars than butterflies cause struggle gave peace. And now, full body and settled mind, just wishing to be a kid again.
Thank you, Lady Rev. I really enjoyed being able to witness some of these amazing conversations people were having with their partners as they got to know each other. And, you know, at times it got hard. We're all busy people. We might fall off for a bit. We might have some hard times. And then all of a sudden the partners would get back together for the most part, which was really good. So I'm really happy people are able to see and meet each other in this reading. Next up, we have Tessa Hirsch and Lillian Omanga. Tessa loves rainbows, dogs, desserts, and the darkness within. And Lillian wrote, I love reading, writing, making friends, and nature walks. So let's welcome them.
I'll do an I Remember poem. I remember dancing in the grass, running through sprinklers, leaving the pool only for adult swim break, a chance to eat a bag of Andy's hot fries with chlorine-pruned hands. I remember Italian ices, an entire day in the sun, biking everywhere, making grass and trees into houses and castles. I always pretended I was a college student. It was as old as I could make believe. My teddy bears could talk, and I was very thoughtful about their feelings, never wanted to leave one out. Lying on my belly, listening to the conversations through the floor, lying on my back, staring at the ceiling, living in the house upside down. It would feel so good to have no furniture, more room to roll around. The morning glories bloomed because I spoke to them, our dogs, Misty, Christy, and Dee Dee, and I told them everything. My father was the funniest man alive and could make my belly ache with laughter. Oldest brother, a mystical creature, came home from the army with spicy Korean soups I was desperate to impress him by eating. Sister, tall, graceful, cool, and truly perfect in my eyes. I copied everything she did, including the way she curled her shoelaces. I'd sit under the piano while she played and let her music shake my breath through me. I cried when I couldn't cream cheese my bagel as pretty as she could. Today, my father is dying. George Floyd already dead. His murderer found guilty. My hair graying so fast I can't catch it. My brother has failed me. Big sister looks small. My arm sore from the vaccine. My heart aching from the blood. My heart aching from the blood drawn by the white nurse of supremacy. The pains of disappointments linger longer than the string of a freshly ripped knee on gravel. Sweetness comes as a respite from the overwhelm rather than a break from the fun. I remember how good it felt to be alive, thighs aching, pedaling up. The hills are so steep now, the summits so low. I pray for the sweetness of life found in June, eating fresh picked strawberries and cut off shorts from jeans I've outgrown. I pray to taste the crisp air while laughing and not from drowning. Joy is more than a break from the inhumane. Our hearts stare at 3 generations of civil rights leaders talking into a microphone, celebrating a win whose bar was far too low. We praise God for the justice he has served, but my jaw is still angry. My sternum still breaks. His knee is lifted. He's been restricted. They say we can breathe, but I want to collapse. Sweet strawberry warm joy, burying our bellies from laughs. Gasping for air, I remember freedom from attack.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Well, thank you so much, Tessa and Lillian. That was beautiful sharing. And Dr. Okemwell has done an anthology, which maybe he'll tell you about, on the violence. So it's coming from Kenya on the violence against Blacks in America. It's such a beautiful way that we are trying to heal. Our last readers for today, if you haven't read and you're here to read, meaning you are part of the exchange, please put it in the chat. Next we have Chase Spears and Alfred Nyamwange. I hope I said that right. Chase goes by Madam C.J. Walker, reborn in the infinity of a purple sky. And Alfred wrote, I read books, I imbibed knowledge. Oh, I remember Alfred let me know that he was not able to make it today. But we will welcome Chase, Madam C.J. Walker, the third.
Everyone. Yeah, my creative name is Madam C.J. the third. Thank you so much for saying Madam C.J. Walker's name. She's definitely the first of many. So, okay, I'm here. I'm on a lonely land. I'm a little bit nervous. I'm trying not to like rush through my poem just because I'm nervous. But yeah, this is my first poetry reading, so people can hear me well, right? Here, let me just do it like that.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay, people can hear you. Yeah, so I'm gonna do this poem about, and Alfred reached out to me on WhatsApp too, saying that he can't make it, but I could read his too. So it's up to y'all. But yay, first poetry reading. Thank you everybody for being here. Thank you for sharing your poetry. It was really dope. So this poem is called Mefri. Ghanaian Tree was the first language that I learned after, like the first African language that I learned. And Mefri means I come from, so it's the identity poem. Whew. Okay. I was raised by the deep, the dope, the spiraling, all-knowing flow of our mother, ocean, bled from the womb of our cosmic creatress, breastfed, stardust, rose quartz, and greatness. I'm an East Oakland empress, reborn each generation. I come from that powerful patience, sustained by spiritual revelations. Giving birth to our purpose feels as easy as lake walking, revolutionary talking, Black poetry reading, deep breathing. Africans, I come from knowing we belong together. From the dark side of the moon, where you can catch a glimpse of Yemoja and Oshun, feeling the juice drip out of a taco truck masterpiece, radically reclaimed histories spray painted on these streets, mystical femme mystique pouring libations over beats, an everlasting line of ancestral memories, gracefully reminding me who the fuck I am. I will always be that duality, divinity, destiny, reclaiming everything I come from. The Most High God took their divine time painting and sustaining just exactly where I come from. They stay trying to deny us, children of the sun, as our vessels radiate the restorative truth that we are one. The time has come to return to the love we are from.
Well, thank you. I hope you don't mind. It means so much to me that we wrapped it up with you today, Madam CJ III, who made our first video of the Wodawa extravaganza, and I appreciate you so much, as well as the fact that we have this history where I had one time been your almost teacher. So it's just beautiful how things come around. It looks like someone is asking if you can read your partner's poem. Do you have your partner's poem?
Yep. It's really dope how he used the last line to return to the love we are from. My brother Alfred used that last line and created an ancestral poem for Baba Mora, matriarch Mora. So I can read that one too. And thank you, Carla. You're amazing. Yeah, God doesn't play no games, because I definitely met you when I was like 14, and then we came back around and did the damn thing. So here we go. To return to the love we are from, I recall that toothy smile and protruding teeth, light laugh, skin lines that made your beauty and sonorous voice did a warmth in your expanse, wrapped with wrapped with stretched arms like a massive wall. You stood before us, me, a rock, to bar the wind, the rains.
I think you muted yourself.
Oh, hey. What's the last thing y'all heard?
Kumbe ndio hii.
I'm gonna start it from the top. I can't wait to sing in Kenya with y'all. Like, as I was listening to everyone's poetry, I was just like, dang, I'm going to Kenya with y'all? What? Okay, so from the top, this is from Matriarch Mora. To return to the love we are from, I recall that toothy smile and protruding teeth, light laugh, skin lines that made your beauty, and sonorous voice that exuded a warmth in your expanse. Rappers with stretched arms like a massive wall, you stood before us. Me, a rock, to bar the wind, the rains, the leeches, your warm body, a fountain from which resuscitation, straw of my want, I drew my sustenance, my sap, to live, to stand tall and warm my hands. The smell of fresh dung and soil, baby vomit, roast meat like a perfume, pervaded our beings with saturation as your hands cupped around my mouth, gruel poured, fingers directed it down my throat in gulps. I swallowed, my flailing hands weakened until my belly like a vessel, swollen like a ball. You planted me in a banana shade as you worked in the shamba. I rolled in the mud, too fed to cry. Baba Mora, Matriarch Mora. Your rough hands washed me off scabbies and dark brown herbs and roots whose bitter tea I drunk to kill the worms, to dissipate the ills. Your toothy smile egging me on, I sucked blood, tipped soft veggies, sour milk, and ugali, barked and burnt, characteristically. A favorite grandchild that you spoiled me, pampered me, made me a prince to sing my song of my childhood, to tell the world how special we were to you. You would be gone for ages, but not your deeds that live in us, me, as I stride the world. I'm telling y'all, Alfred got that stuff. Alfred be making my senses like activate in a subconscious way. So yeah, thank you for listening.
Thank you. So beautiful. So we're almost at time, and we have only one poet who's in the room who hasn't been able to go yet, and that's Lillian. Lillian, are you able to unmute and share your poem?
Might be having connection issues.
Lillian, we can't hear you. I think there's a delay because I could hear my voice reverberating back. I think since it's a little bit challenging and Lillian is here, we're going to wrap up. It is 10:30. And I want to just announce that. Oh, are you there, Lillian?
I could share for Lillian.
Okay, Lillian, Tessa's going to read your poem, and then that will be our final. That will be it. I shared my thank yous. I want to thank the Shuffle Collective for hosting this, and I'll email everyone a follow-up. So yeah, go ahead, Tessa. Thank you.
Bitterness. Am bitter and anxious, the anger surging through my veins is consuming the inner me. If not momentarily, then it's slowly tearing me apart. I feel like I have been exposed to a heinous, glaring inferno that threatens to char me. Beyond any recognition, tormenting me like hellfire. My whole existence has been mired with my introspective mind that keeps preaching to me that am doomed for eternity. Believe me, I never signed for this. But my painful past But my painful past did it, and now the state of affairs has thrown me in a tumult, leaving me in a turmoil. My once candid nature, the extrovert me, has been reduced to nothing but ferocity and annoyance. The repercussion of bitterness, I developed a skeptical mind, resulting to falling outs, leaving me misanthropic, and this had commenced my inevitable loneliness, lost in my own imaginations. Regrets after regrets is all that is left of me. My once warm blood is now cold and intoxicated. With nothing but vengeance, my heart therefore no longer pumps oxygenated blood, but pure venom, engulfed in pure hatred, ignorance, and bitterness. My past I should compare with the raging tsunami, so painful and inconsiderate, swept me off my feet and had me heavily cascaded on rocky and steep lands, with no slightest idea of what I should do afterwards. Nights longer than usual with the deafening silence around had me feel more of a loner, left to cry hysterically to myself, soak my pillows wet, cry myself hoarse to sleep. That's how I could cope up. A great fiasco it was, trying to run away from me, the monster I was becoming. The situation daunted me from realizing my potential. It rendered me useless, a compliant and loyal slave to my own dark side, the side that dared to intimidate the dazzling light from resurfacing from within me. I was the dreadful villain in my own life and story, never believed in destiny to determine my fate in life, since I was all irrational, fallible, and irresolute. This was my own doing, and now I am paying dearly for the consequences of the unwise choices I made. If only I was able to get rid of the burden I carried on my already tired, weak, and fragile back, then I would have done myself a huge favor and escaped from myself the dangerous me caused by my impaired judgment and the bitterness I have.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. I want to thank, can we go to gallery view, Tessa? I want to just say some thank yous. I want to thank, firstly, Don Juan for co-hosting with me. I want to thank Kistretch Poetry Festival, which is Dr. Okemwell, for bringing together his group. I want to thank Tongo Eisen Martin, as well as I think Don Juan of the Patrice Lumumba Poetry Festival. We've had a really amazing exchange. There's more to come. We'll be putting together a book, and then we'll have subsequent readings. So people who were not able to read this time, hopefully will be able to read next time. I want to thank Tyrese Brown was in the room, my content curator, my past content curator from West Oakland to West Africa, and Shuffle Collective for hosting this. Thank you so much, Tess. And I think if there's any announcements, this would be the time. I know Daniel B is here, who wants to make an announcement about his world poetry reading. And if you have any books, you want to put them in the link in the chat, this is the time. So go ahead, we'll go to Daniel, then to Dr. Okemwell.
There you go, I'm unmuted. I want to really say that the poetry was just incredible, amazing, beautiful, and I very much appreciated hearing everyone's voice. The little thing I posted it a couple times, I was not sure when would be appropriate to do that. But I'm looking for live streaming open mics anywhere in the world so I can add them to this listing so people can find places like this and share their poetry all over the place. I know there are hundreds of venues that are, use Zoom or other methods. And I'm doing this sort of like I'd like to see people have more chances to share with more people. And I think even when the pandemic is over, this kind of opportunity will just blossom even further. So if you're interested in that, I put the links there. And if there's problems with any of that, my email is also there. Also, if you want to come to Sacred Grounds of a Wednesday night, please do. We love having new people and hearing new voices and trading, exchanging, and like that. So I'll let somebody else speak because I can go on. But thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead, Dr. Okemwell. You're muted. You're still muted. There we go.
Okay, there I am. Yeah, let me start by thanking each one of you for participating in this poetry exchange. It's such a big experience, especially to me and probably to the members of Kistretch Poetry Festival. I wish that we hold such an event again in future so that we learn more and more and we interact more with our brothers and sisters from America and we continue exchanging our poetry. So I wish that we have such an event again in future. Number two, I would like to bring to your attention about the anthology that is about to come out. It's called I Can't Breathe, an anthology of social justice. It is 1,300 pages featuring 550 poets, especially the poets from the Black community in America. And I look forward to produce this anthology and bring it out to the world. And mostly what people ask is that how comes a Kenyan poet is compiling and editing this anthology and not somebody from America and elsewhere? And my answer normally is that in Africa, like elsewhere else, all of us are affected by racism and hatred between races, and therefore I have a right and I have a feeling that I mean, it's an order that I had to edit and compile this anthology that is called I Can't Breathe. Lastly, let me say that we are going to hold Kistretch International Poetry Festival in the year 2022 in October. We could not hold it this year because of the pandemic. So next year, I welcome each one of you to come to Kenya and meet your partners and maybe share more and more face to face and be able to see Kenya and meet some of us, and we shall be very glad to have you. So if you are planning to come to Kenya in the year 2022, please start planning for it and allow us to write you an invitation letter so that you are able to look for funds and come and join us in the Kistretch Poetry Festival in Kenya in the year 2022. Otherwise, thank you so much.
Think you so much. I just put the link for the Kistretch International Poetry Festival in the chat. Thank you so much. I hope we can come. We're going to do our best. Was there anyone? Oh, Tess has an announcement from Shuffle about the about Shuffle Collective, which is a beautiful platform. Go ahead, Tess.
Hey everyone, that was an incredible, beautiful reading. So honored to help to host this reading. Yes, the Shuffle Collective is a platform or a collective of writers, artists, and creative individuals across disciplines. And on the platform, as a member, we help to host your projects like West Oakland, West Africa project. We give you kind of the technical tools to showcase your project, as well as connect with other people who are doing really inspiring and beautiful work. So I'd love to invite you all to become members. If you're part of the West Oakland to West Africa exchange, we've set up a direct access for you that Carla is already sent out, and I think I'm onboarding some of you tomorrow or even later today. If you haven't applied yet, please do so. We'd love to have you, love to help support your projects in any way we can, and connect you with other people who are doing similar work. So thanks so much, Carla. This is an amazing event.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Woohoo! Let's unmute and give a big cheer. Yay! Woohoo! Thank you, everyone.
Holla.
Holla. Holla.
Amazing. Bravo, everybody.
Hey.
Much thanks. I'll do